I'm joined with the Director of Lettings here, Mr. Ricky Purdy. How are you, Ricky?
Good, thank you.
Ricky, you've already got a gathering here this afternoon. What is this all about? Who are these people and why are they here?
These are current landlords that self-manage properties that want more information about Rent Smart Wales and what they'll need to do to become licensed and to continue to manage the properties in person.
And the compliance is that, as I said, if you're a landlord, you now have to register any property that you're renting as a landlord within the private renting sector.
Yes, you register yourself as a landlord, and part of that registration means that you know the properties that you let as that landlord. So yourself and your properties.
So what is the purpose? Why do people need to register these properties?
It's part and parcel of the process to become licensed, and I think the end goal from the sort of the Welsh Assembly is to effectively increase the standard of property landlords and property tenants throughout Wales.
So it's the training. There's three parts to it. Really, is the registration, simple online. It's an easy system online. The training is going to be partly online, but also on training courses, which sometimes last up to 8 hours and a day with the qualification and validation at the end. And then the licensing will be all applied for online, majority of it, because it's more expensive if you do it on paper.
I see.
So a majority of people are going to be doing most things online.
It's a very good response to your invitation to come along this evening.
Yeah, very good.
That tells me that potentially there's a bit of a knowledge gap. People, although there's the Rent Smart Wales website, are there landlords out there who genuinely don't know how to go through this process?
Very much so, yeah. The vast majority of landlords in the private rented sector just aren't aware of it. Or if they are aware of it, they're not aware of it to the extent they need to be, knowing that there's 7 or 8 months left before the deadline comes into effect. So we've actively spoken to the landlords that we've catered for in the recent years, and we'll be doing the same thing through May and June. But yes, you know, there's going to be a lot of promotion and a lot of press in the months ahead, and hopefully that will sort of encourage a little bit more interest.
Have you found the information any use to you at all?
Yeah, it is. It's very helpful because although I have registered as a landlord, a lot of this information is still unavailable. So it's really interesting what they've been saying, and particularly with the dates and the stages that we're going to go through as Rent Smart Wales kicks in. This is all new information, and I'm sure it is to a lot of the other landlords here.
And it seems quite complex, doesn't it, in terms of the process and in terms of the deadlines. You said you've already registered your details.
Yeah.
In terms of the licensing side of that, have you gone to that stage yet?
Yes, I've applied for a course, so I'm due to do the course shortly. Okay. So that should be interesting to see what's in there.
From a landlady's perspective, what are you worried about? Do you find the process complicated?
Well, we haven't got time to go on a course, but we will find time to do it rather than the government give us a fine.
In terms of the initial process, how did you find out about this new legislation? What prompted you to register in the first instance?
I think initially it was a colleague of mine that mentioned that Rent Smart Wales was just being launched. And I needed to license, so I went online to have a look at that and found out about Rent Smart Wales there and about how to register, and that followed up with talking about training and being licensed.
In your opinion, as a landlady, will it raise the standard amongst landlords in terms of how they look after their properties, and will tenants benefit as a result of that, in your opinion?
Well, I hope it do, because I've heard such bad stories about tenants living in bad conditions. But it affects us all then. When you've got one bad property, they think we're all the same, but we're not. There's some good landlords and landladies, and there's bad. So maybe it's a good idea to get the property up to the good standard.
Again, will you continue to self-manage, or do you think you'll take it to the next level and seek an agent at some stage? What's your thoughts on that?
At this point, I'm still looking at self-managing. However, depending on what goes on with the training, it may be that I change my mind, because I know that quite a few people are thinking about passing their properties onto an agency, and this might be the time that even myself might be thinking down that line.
Any advice to any landlords? Obviously the deadline is November. What would you be saying to landlords tonight in advance of that deadline?
I'd be saying to landlords, November will be here quicker than we know it. So, you know, you've got a decision to make. You either do what you need to do to become licensed and continue to self-manage, or you choose to utilise an agent like ourselves and benefit from the luxury of not needing to do some of the things you'll have to do in the next 7 months.
Okay. Ricky, thank you very much.
Not
I
a
think the
problem.
message here this evening, it's getting busier and busier. There's a great response to the invitation that's gone out. But the actual message from Ricky tonight is, look, you're a landlord, get registered, get licensed. If you need advice, come and speak to the Dawson's letting staff. Come and speak to Ricky himself if you need to. And there is contact information available. You can get in touch with Dawson's via the telephone number, which is Swansea 01792, Ricky.
That's 301000.
repeat that?
That's 301000. You can go on our website. We've got links there to the licensing that landlords and agents will need to adhere to, and you can pop into one of our sort of 5 rental offices and 7 sales offices. They'll be happy to help.
Okay, Ricky, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.